Next we're going to have a look at how the game loop works. The function which is commonly referred to as a game loop is the update function. The update function is called on every single frame, and it is called before the physics simulation, so this is a good place to make any changes. Now the problem we have here is to affect our plane node, we're going to have to make changes to it outside of this didMoveToView function. In order to do that, you'll need some way of being able to retain that object. You can do this by making a global variable or an instance variable. A global variable is separate from the class and can be updated from anywhere within your application. An instance variable is part of your class. If I go back to our class blueprint example, where we're saying that a class is like a blueprint, so imagine now you have a blueprint for a car. If someone was to say, how many wheels does this car currently have on it, then you're not really able to answer the question because it's just a blueprint, it's not a physical object. When you instantiate that into an object, so it becomes a car, you then know how many wheels it's going to have attached to it. In the same way, an instance variable can only be changed when this class becomes an object, and then it will exist within that object until that object ceases to exist. So I'm just going to create my variable for the plane here, and then in my didMoveToView, I'm just going to update that so it now refers to the instance variable rather than just a local variable. So now I can also reference that from other places within the application, such as the update function. So I can go myPlane.position and then give it a CG point which has the current position of the plane, and we'll just take 1 point off of the Y position with every time that this frame is run. And when you build and run this application, you'll see that every single frame the plane loses 1 point in the Y axis. You can also affect things like the rotation of the node, you can do print line readouts, and you can do a lot more complex math using if statements and case statements and any other code that you want. So quite often this is really good when you're working with a game where you have to pass controls into something. So your player may have a variable for whether it is currently moving left or moving right, and in this update loop you can say if it is currently moving left, move the node left. So in this case here, let's say if the current Y position is less than 50, make the plane rotate. Otherwise, reduce its Y position. And there you go, that's a basic introduction to the game loop.